Pro 2300 magnitude, the All-American section we'll get into later. Tobacco series, high-end event pipe series. You'll have a Hey, how's it going, YouTube? Okay, today I'm going to do a video for somebody in particular, but hopefully more than one person will get a benefit out of this video. Basis of this video is going to be which reloader do I buy? Is it going to be the Dillon 1050? Or will it be the Dillon 650? So hopefully I can shed a little light on this for you. I have both of them here for my usage, and getting familiar with the 1050. Got probably 20 or 30 hours familiarity with the 650 here in front of me. So I'm going to go through both machines, show you how they work really quickly. By no means is this an instruction video or any kind of expertise. It's going to be a basic run over about these guys, and see if I can help some people make a choice which one they want. So we're going to get started with the 650. Okay, so here we're at the 650. It's a 5-station reloader, and basically I have some already lubed cases in the automatic case feeder here. I'll tell you what the stations do here. This first station, it's going to, when I pull the handle down, it's going to grab a primer, or a case rather, from right here, and spit it down into station 1. When I push the handle forward, it's going to place it into the shell plate notch where it indexes, and then when I pull the handle down again, it's going to size and deprime the case. So let's do that, and then from there on out I'll just kind of describe what's going on here. First one, pushing in the case. You will see right here that there's, because there's no shell in station number 2, that's the priming station, there is a little primer sticking up. What's going to happen is that going to ride in this plate that's back here. There's a little plate with a bunch of holes in it. That's what feeds the priming system. Those primers go unspent, end up in a little hopper right here that I've covered in duct tape, because when you get a lot of them in there, they come down the ramp and shoot out onto the floor. So we're going to cycle it, and right away, a lot of this brass, I will say, is military brass, and because of that fact, the primers don't fit. The military brass, for instance, this is a PMC. You can see this red around the priming pocket. It means it was crimped and probably then waterproofed. So what we do then is, let me give you a shot of this swager here. I'm going to show you the swaging. You have to swage the primer pockets because you obviously can't fit a primer in there. So there's a little doodad that you push down on that, and it sends a rod into the primer pocket that expands it, and that will then make the primer pocket big enough to hold a regular size pistol primer, or rifle primer rather. So anyway, having a little trouble here, bear with me guys. Okay, so let me get this camera back over here. Alright, so now we're on station 2. When I push forward on this handle, it's going to prime the case in station number 2, and I'll pull back again. And what's going to happen now is that alarm you heard was the low powder warning. Because there's nothing in station number 3, it thinks that there's low primer on the case, but there's really no case in there, so we're going to ignore that alarm. Okay, so now we are on station 3. This case, the first case that we started with, has been swaged and now has a full load of powder in it. I'll pull back again and it will measure the amount of powder, and doesn't seem to be lacking or have a double feed or double charge, so no alarm there. Alright, so here we are on station number 4. This is where you would place a bullet on top of the case, and this is going to push the bullet into the case. And this is where it becomes an automated process. Basically all you have to do at this point is you're going to be feeding bullets on top of the cases, just like that. This last station here, the crimping station, where the crimp goes on the top of the neck of the case to seat that bullet in place. And once we do that, it's going to kick it off, put it in a box. I just felt another case over on this side. Didn't feel like it's seated correctly, but there's a primer hanging out of it, so I'm going to try to give it a little push there. That's one of the issues with the 650. You have to push forward in order for the primers to get seated, and if you don't give it a good shove, a good solid shove, you're going to get failure, or what they call short stroking. And short stroking looks something like this, where the primer is stuck way up above the top edge of the case. Obviously that's not good, and obviously it's not going to chamber correctly, nor will it fire correctly. So I'm just going to run off a couple of these. Hopefully I won't come across a shell that's not swaged, and I can show you about how fast you can expect to load. Yep. Kind of takes a minute to kind of get into your groove already. I feel that I'm getting some resistance here, and indeed we have a Lake City brass, so I'm going to swage that really quick. At least I'd like to swage it really quick. Here we go. Throw it back in here. Forward, back, and got another one. So anyway, you get the gist of this. This is basically the way I do my ammo. The other way you can do it is you can deprime your brass first by just running it through station 1, and then there's another one. Running it through station 1, which will expand the case and deprime it. Then you pull it off. There's a little flipper metal tab in here that makes sure that the shell stays inside and aligned in this position. In station number 2, it's flexible in that you can pull the case out to examine it or to see what's going on. So it's handy because if you do come across a shell that doesn't want to accept a primer, you can just pull it out of there, run it through the swager, and you're good to go. Or if you come across, you're just doing a batch of shells that you know need swaging, you can just run it through the system, pull them out of station number 2 without priming it, or running the powder, which would be a downstroke, and run through your swager, and then just put it back in the hopper when you're done with that. You have all your cases swaged and ready to go. So we made about 10 bullets there. Sorry I couldn't really show you what it was like, but just go through the process one more time. Actually, I have This Lake City brass will just run through one more round with a single bullet, just to show you exactly what it is. Again, it does, and I'll be mainly working with this camera here. So okay, station 1, brass goes in, places itself on the station with the forward stroke, pull back, goes into station 1's die, which is going to de-prime and shape the case. Go into station 2, that will be the neutral position. You push forward on the handle, it's going to prime the case. You pull back on the handle, it puts gunpowder in it. Going back, it indexes into station 3. It's where the powder measure is going to make sure it's either got that it has the correct amount of gunpowder. Either it's going to be too much or too little. It'll sound an alarm. So you can hear nothing. That's good. Station 4, where you put the bullet in, goes up into station 4. It pushes the bullet into the case to the proper depth, and then station 5 is going to crimp the neck around the bullet and then out into the hopper. So that done, I will say, I will show you just really quickly what came on this Dillon and what's an option, what is not an option. The powder, or let's see here, the powder measure die here on station 1. This one right here, this guy right here. That measures the high or low powder inside the shell case. That's a approximately $70 option, $65, $70 depending on where you're going. The case feed, this contraption that you plug in that you basically pour a couple hundred shells in, and it feeds them mechanically into a tube that drops down and feeds the case system. That was about $250. This sporty aluminum groovy handle that's contoured and easy to use, that was I think $45. The strong mount that brings the machine up off your counter and workspace and also allows you to recess it back away from the edge so this machinery isn't hanging off the edge of your bench. That was another $50. Walking around here, the swaging device, $100. And the tool set was another, I think, $30. The unit itself comes with one tool head, all the dies, everything you need, including the hopper for the powder, and the blue machine. That's it. That's all it comes with. It's about $550 if I recall. Everything else is optional that I've listed. Buy all the stuff that I've just listed and it comes up to a little more than $1,000. And then if you want to change calibers, you'll have to buy, there's two different things you need to buy. There's the conversion kit, which consists of some shell plates, these little brass case indexers that keep the cases centered inside the holes. Let's see what else it come with. It comes with this plastic funnel that feeds the shells into the shell dispenser, and some other things I can't think of right now. Depending if you're going with one primer or a different type of primer, for instance 9mm to 45 ACP, that's two different size primers. That being the case, you might need a new primer punch. You can see that guy lift up in there on station 2. That's a part that sits up underneath right in there. It's black, of course, with a big spring on it. Can't see it that well. You're going to need to replace that. There's another aluminum thing over here that the shells come out of. That's going to get replaced. Not due to primers, but due to case sizes. Let's see. And then also you have the tool heads. You don't have to buy tool heads if you don't mind readjusting your dies every time you use them. I I think the tool heads are fairly inexpensive. I think they're $75. And that comes with, basically it's like this 45 that's back here. Just the tool head and the powder die. And they call it a quick change tool head. Then you have to buy the dies that go with it. Those are about $70 for the die set. So, you know, I have 3 or 4 different calibers for that. And it was around $2,000, I think, all said and done, not counting all the parts that you need, you know, the cases, the gunpowder, the this, the that, the that. Okay, so this machine's set up to do 45 ACP, and got my little bullet bin right here. Got a tube full of 45 brass. Grab a couple of more bullets here. Okay, I'm just going to load up some primers in this tube manually. They go shiny side down, explosive part up, in case you need to know that. This is kind of an unorthodox way to do it, but for the cases of demonstration, I don't think anything's going to be bad. So, okay, I'll explain how this one works. It's a lot different than the 650. The 650 rotates clockwise. This one works counterclockwise. So station 1 is actually going to be right here. I don't know how well the close-up view is going to be able to see it because there's so many parts and things kind of surrounding this, but we'll do the best we can. So the shell's going to end up here, go into station 1 on the far side of the whatever Dillon calls this thing, the hoo-ha that goes up and down that actuates the shell plate. Going to go over here into position 1. It's going to be deprimed and the case is going to be shaped. Second station that I'm going to have to show you specifically how it works is the swaging station. The Dillon's 1050 does have a swaging station, so that's handy when it comes to rifles, and I kind of showed you how. So let's get started and I'll continue explaining. Here we go. Okay, we're at station 1. The brass is going to get shaped and deprimed. On to station 2. Now the brass is going to be deprimed and, or not deprimed, belled as well as swaged. Station 3 is where the primer is actually installed, and I'm just going to continue. I'll go a couple rounds and then show you how the swager and the priming system works. Okay, and we're at station 4 now. That's where the case is going to get a load of powder. And over here, this is where we're going to get checked. Station number 5. And station number 6 is where the bullet seater is. So I'm going to have to put a bullet in here. And that's going to seat the round. And the next station is going to crimp the shell. So basically, that's just making bullets with the 1050. I'm pretty slow at this. Like I said in the last video, you kind of have to get into a rhythm. But it's a good workout. And there's something fun about it. I don't know what it is. Being resourceful and self-sufficient is just kind of cool, if you ask me. I'm going to show you kind of how station 2 and 3 kind of work here. So let me finish making these bullets here. Kind of slippery, so Looks like I had a bad primer. Yeah, I'm leaking, actually you can see right here, I'm leaking shit all over the place. I ran out of primers. I don't have my alarm in. Otherwise, it would have told me. So, looks like I get some cleaning to do, but, okay, I don't know if anybody noticed or not, but when I was doing that last part of the video, I forgot to put the powder measure back on, and or pardon me, the primer low alarm, and ran out of primers because I wasn't really set up to do a whole bunch of 45. I thought I was only going to run about 5 or 6, and just threw a handful of primers in there. Well, I screwed up bad. Ended up with primers or powder all over the place, pile of screwed up bullets, everything but powder in them. So I'll have to deal with that on a later date, but no big deal. Corrected the situation, and I just want to show you really quickly how the swaging thing works, and how the primer system works. So the primer system is going to be this right here, this die right here. Let me turn up the exposure a little bit on this camera. Okay, the whites are going to look whiter and the brights are going to look brighter, so so I can pull this handle down without losing view. Alright, a couple things are going to happen here. The swaging rod is that guy right there where my pinky is, and then you'll see just beyond that little brass thing with the number 1 on it, that's where the swager is going to pop up. See it as a lower. No, maybe not. You can't see it. It's kind of dark in here. Let's see if I can get a light on it. There, now you can see it. Let's see here. See that guy right there, that little pin. So you go down and then up. Okay, going up and down in there. That's what pushes into the shell case. Pardon for the noise. That's what shoves itself into the shell case to swage the cases. 45s more often than not don't require swaging, but your 308s and your 223s and whatnot will. So that's a bonus. You don't have to have 2 different machines. You don't have to take cases out of your unit in order to swage them. And second thing I want to show you is the primer system on this one. We're on the 650 over there. When you prime the in the second station, you have to push forward on the handle, and I showed you the problem with that. The short stroking. It's just a funny word. All right. With the 1050, all the things that happen are on the downstroke. So if you'll look just past this white little indexer, let me see if I can get the light down on there. That's as good a light as you're going to get. There, you can see the primer right there, the little red thing is popping up. That's the primer press. So that's kind of cool about it. Let me turn down the... Okay, so there's 2 different major differences with that. The cool thing about the primer is you can't short stroke a primer because the tool head has got this ratchet on it right here that keeps you from short stroking. You have to complete a full cycle before you can return the handle to the upright position to forward the indexing. So you can't, well, it makes it very difficult to seat a bad primer. That's cool. Cheers, everybody. Another thing that's cool is down here on the tool head, right here, is a bolt that you can screw in or out that will change the depth of the primer. So if you find yourself that your primers are seated not quite deeply enough, you can turn it in and it will get rid of that proud primer action, and it'll seat it a lot better. So there you go. There's the differences. The way I have these two machines set up is kind of like OBX Sol Win. In fact, I'll be straight honest with you. I stole the idea from him. Guy's got a brilliant mind. If you don't know his channel, check him out. But he uses his 1050 to do 45 and 308, which have the same exact same size cases where they sit in the shell plate. So that saves about $150 when you're switching calibers on the 1050. He also uses his 650 here to do 9mm and 223, which also magically, mystically, have the exact same dimension of base, at least the same shell plate sold from Dillon. I'll try to get some light over here. Sorry about that, guys. It uses the same exact shell plate to do 9mm and 223. So that's kind of cool as well. You know, I can't say what would be better. It's two totally different machines for different purposes. One, the 1050 is for mass production. Nice tripod sitting up here. 1050 is for mass production, and the 650 is for sort of mass production. I can put out between 400 and 600 rounds an hour with the this 650, and I haven't really had this 1050 long enough to really familiarize myself and kind of get in a groove. But just kind of testing and setting up the shell plate, I was able to put out about 100 rounds in about, it seemed like it was 5 minutes, but it was probably 10, maybe less. I think it was a lot less. It was probably closer to 5 minutes, 6 minutes, something like that. As far as the upgrading goes between the two of them, it's a lot more expensive to do the Dillon 1050 as compared to the 650. Like I said in that earlier video, the 650, it's about $270 per caliber, providing they have different shell plates and different primer sizes. And on the 1050, it's twice that much basically. Let's see, if you're doing it like I am, where you're using the same shell plate, and basically everything is the same except for up in the tool head, the swager and the bell, case bell. If those are the only things you're changing out, and you're just buying the tool head to swap out as a quickie between 308 and 485, for instance, I think that's a $250 expenditure. Again, if you want the powder check, that's another $70. The tool head does come with the die for the powder, and it does come with the powder dispenser, so it's not so bad. But you know, out of the box, $1,550 basically, ready to do one caliber as opposed to $550 to do one caliber. So but when you add up all the bells and whistles, basically they cost about the same. You know, the case feeder, both alarms, the cool handle, and the swager. You know, you buy all that stuff to do rifle calibers, you just spent the same amount as you could have done to get this machine. So is what it is, kids. Again, this video was not meant to be instructional. It's just my opinion and my familiarization with these two products from Dillon, and doing it specifically for one guy out there who's trying to make a choice. Hopefully I helped, and anybody else who found it helpful, sweet, it's a bonus. So thanks for watching, guys. SoCal Preppers, out of here.